The video you're about to see addresses the containment of leaks that could occur in chlorine cylinders. While leaks in these cylinders rarely occur, prompt corrective action by trained personnel using special equipment is required. For Chlorine Institute Emergency Kits manufactured prior to 2014, Device 12 can be used to contain all leaks in and around the container valves. Remove the valve protective hood if in place and position container so that the leaking valve is in the top or gas position. This results in a chlorine gas leak and not a liquid leak. Chock the ton container to prevent movement during application of the emergency kit. Use the paint scraper to remove paint, scale, and rust from the face of the container. Open and close leaking valve to dislodge any foreign material. Remove the outlet cap from vent valve 12V on the hood 12A and open the valve. This eliminates pressure buildup inside the hood as it's being installed. Loosen adjusting screws 12F and retract jack screws 12E sufficiently to allow insertion of adjustable bar assembly 12C behind the chime of the container. Place gasket 4-12BMV on hood 12A. The hood sealing surface should be inspected prior to gasket application. This should be a smooth surface without dents or gouges that could cut the gasket. The gasket should be in excellent condition to ensure effective sealing. Place the hood and gasket over the leaking valve. For certain containers, having a ridge between the two valves, use gasket 12BBV or gasket 12MV, which is molded with a depression to fit over the ridge. Insert bar assembly 12C into chime. The valve body on hood 12A should be positioned horizontally and perpendicular to the yoke when applying hood 12A. Adjust lower jack screw 12E to center up cap screw 12D over hood 12A. Adjust upper jack screw 12E so that bar assembly 12C fits tightly inside chime. Tighten adjusting screws 12F with wrench 101. Tighten upper cap screw 12D, forcing hood 12A and the gasket against the head of the container. Caution: tighten just enough to stop leak. Over-tightening may cut the gasket. Close the vent valve 12V using wrench 200B. Replace the vent valve outlet cap. After the kit has been applied, periodically check for leaks because pressure will build up inside the hood. Emergency Kit B's Device 4 is available with the 2014 and pre-2014 kits and can be used to contain all leaks in and around the fusible plug of ton containers. Position container so that the leaking plug is in the top or gas position. This results in a chlorine gas leak and not a liquid leak. Chock the ton container to prevent movement during application of the emergency kit. Make sure the fusible plug is secured enough into the ton container so it does not pull out when applying Device 4. Use the paint scraper to remove paint, scale, and rust from the face of the container. Place the gasket 4-12BMV on the hood 4A. The hood sealing surface should be inspected prior to gasket application. This should be a smooth surface without dents or gouges that could cut the gasket. The gasket should be in excellent condition to ensure effective sealing. Slide yoke 4C with stud 4E over the head of plug and tighten with wrench 200B. Place hood 4A with gasket over yoke 4C and stud so the stud extends out through the top of the hood. Place gasket 4D over stud 4E. Screw cap nut 4F on stud 4E and tighten gently using wrench 101. Forcing hood and gasket against the head of the container firmly enough to stop the leak. After the kit has been applied, periodically check for leaks because pressure will build up inside the hood. A leak in the container sidewall can be contained by applying Device 9. First, position the container on its side and rotate it until the leak is on the top. This results in a chlorine gas leak not a liquid leak. Chock the tongue container to prevent movement during application of the emergency kit. If the container is not on a storage rack or rails, then place it on rails, planks, or similar item to lift the container, or dig a trench underneath it large enough to allow the chains to pass through. Adjust the cap screw into the yoke until the cap screw point extends slightly below the yoke. Test integrity of the sidewall and use the paint scraper to remove loose paint and rust from the area. Position the gasket 9EV and the patch to the side of the leak. Center the yoke and cap screw into the depression on top of the patch. Slip one end of the chain under the container and pull it through. Align the chain with the leak in the container. Ensure that the chain is straight and not twisted. Hook the chain to an ear on each side of the yoke. Keep the chain as short as possible. Position the gasket and patch over the leak. Tighten the cap screw with wrench 101. Caution! If there is any evidence of weakening of the container wall, immediately discontinue tightening the cap screw. Test for leaks. Periodically check for leaks because pressure will build up inside the container. If the leak persists, further tighten the cap screw and test for leaks. Ensure that the chains are flush against the container without kinks. Tighten cap screw further if needed.